everyone, welcome to Techrides. I'm Edwin Marcial. Today I'm very excited to have a conversation with Don Panoz. Don has had an amazing career as both an entrepreneur and innovator. He started out in the pharmaceuticals industry and is credited with inventing the technology behind the nicotine patch. Along with his son Dan, he created Panoz Cars, which makes high-end custom sports cars. Don also got into motorsports racing and founded the American Le Mans series. Panoz race cars have won the 24 Hours of Le Mans, Sebring, and the Petite Le Mans, which Don also founded. Today we are riding in one of the Panoz custom cars, the Avezzano, a version of which recently won the 2018 Pirelli World Challenges GTS Manufacturers Championship. Riding along with us today is John Leverett, VP of Sales and Marketing for Panoz Cars. We will talk with Don later, but let's pick it up from our ride with John in the Avezzano. So these cars are all produced, manufactured right here in the U.S., right here in Braselton?
Right, everything is done right here in the factory. Technically, our factory is in Houston. And half of it's in Houston, half of it's in Braselton.
Okay.
And the company headquarters down the street where Don's office is and where our engine shops and race shops are, that's in Braselton proper.
So this V8 engine here, it's 580 horsepower.
Yes.
Do you have you know what the 0 to 60 time on it is?
We don't have an official one. We have a simulation one that's around 3.6 seconds.
So Don used to own Road Atlanta, right, which is a racetrack very close to here.
Right, Road Atlanta is an internationally renowned road course for most types of sports car racing. He's owned that for many years. He also owns Sebring, which is the classic American endurance 12-hour race that's been going on for like 60 plus years. And is a cult. Sebring is in the center of Florida, Central Florida.
Okay.
Every year they get a huge crowd there for the whole week. And most of the big European teams come over and run the 12 hours of Sebring in preparation for the 24 Hours of Le Mans in June.
Okay.
So the saying is that if you can survive the 12 hours of Sebring, 24 Hours of Le Mans is no problem.
Really? Why is that?
The track is very rough. It's a very old track.
Okay.
It's part racetrack, part runway, part just a big mishmash, and it's been there for years. Yeah. When he sold Sebring and when he sold Road Atlanta, he also sold the International Motorsports Association, which he owned, and the American Le Mans series, which he founded. And he sold all of that to NASCAR.
Road Atlanta is still pretty popular and widely used.
Yeah, I always am amazed that the local media, I would look at the numbers for a local college football game, which is quite popular here, and I look at the spectator numbers for the Super Bowl when it was here. And every year in the fall, Petite Le Mans ticket sales are larger than any of those events.
Really?
Yes. You cannot find a hotel room within 50 miles of here.
And when does that happen?
That's the second week of October. And that's a 10-hour race.
10-hour race.
Yeah.
Petite Le Mans, what kind of cars are those?
Same, all the cars that run in Le Mans, they all come Porsche, factory Porsches, factory Corvettes, factory Audis, everything. They all run there.
Road Atlanta is used by a lot of car companies to test their performance on their cars, the Corvettes, things like that. Is that right? Like Mercedes. And somebody recently set a record there on the lap time?
Yes, there's a group that's run by the Ferrari factory in Maranello in Italy, and they take Formula One cars, which are the the fastest, most state-of-the-art race cars there are, and people can buy one, and the factory maintains the car, and they travel to famous tracks around the world, and the owners get to drive them and be instructed. Recently, just a couple of weeks ago, they came to Road Atlanta and broke the track record Mark Genet, an ex-Ferrari factory driver, did a lap in a little over a minute, which is unbelievable. And it's got a lot of elevation changes and a lot of left and right turns. It's quite a unique and demanding track.
Man, that's pretty incredible. How long have you been in Atlanta?
I came from England to America originally, back in the late 60s, and I've lived in Atlanta now for probably 20 years.
20 years, okay.
It's kind of a unique situation. When I came to America, I came on a visitor's visa and met a young lady who I've been married to now for 50 years. And when my visa expired, I went and got a job. And back then you could do that. You just go down and get a social security number, and they told them where you lived, and they gave you a social security number. Yeah. And then, of course, when I applied for a green card, I was designated an illegal alien because I had the wrong visa and I shouldn't have had a job. And so I got arrested. So.
You got arrested? You spent some time?
Threatened with deportation. But unfortunately, in 1968, there was a thing called the Vietnam War, so they gave me an option of being drafted or deported.
Really? Was that your option?
Accepted drafted.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So you went in and you fought in Vietnam?
Yes.
That's quite a choice. A lot of people might not make that choice.
No, and my wife, who was then, I was engaged to at the time, wanted me to go back to England and she would go with me, but I wanted to stay here. I had a great affinity for the country, and I just said, hey, listen, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. If everybody else that's in my situation, that's an American citizen, wants to live here, has to go, then I should too. So that's what I did. And really fortunate for me, my skill set was highly in demand in the military at the time. So when I got to Vietnam, they asked me if I knew much about American history and American government, and I said, yeah, learning in school in England. And they asked me about 5 questions, and they said, okay, go down and get sworn in, we're making you a citizen. Because my job required a security clearance, and I had to be a citizen. So.
This is when you got to Vietnam?
Yes.
They
swore me in Vietnam.
So you became a citizen in
Yes,
Vietnam?
Sir.
That's incredible.
I had the shortest path to citizenship of any illegal immigrant.
So you went from jail to being a citizen within a matter of days.
Yeah.
That's a tremendous story. So how much was it that you wanted to stay in the United States versus you really wanted to stay with your girlfriend, future
yes,
wife?
You got it. You figured it out.
So this is the Panoz office right here?
Yeah, this is the headquarters where the race teams operate and where the carbon composite shop and the race engine shop. There you go. The guy you really can answer all your questions is Don. You ready for
let's
meet
get
Mr. Panoz here?
Oh, I just wanted to come out and say hello.
How are you?
Hi, it's great pleasure to meet you, Don.
Pleasure to meet you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
It's really an honor. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you for hosting us on Techrides. And I've been riding in your car, but I'm really honored to have you ride with me for a minute.
I want to see how you do with it.
Okay, let's go back to the showroom.
All right, let's go. Thank you.
Oh, you were living in Ireland?
Yeah.
When you were, I think it was Milan, you developed the technology for the transdermal patch.
I had this idea of new technology for certain products that you could reduce the dose and cut out side effects, and everybody told me I couldn't do it. I was managing director of Milan Labs at the time, and the board said, how can we do this when Squibb and Pfizer and everybody else can? So I said, okay, I don't need experts.
So they didn't believe you could do it?
No, I did. I said, I don't need experts. All the experts told me I couldn't do it. What I need is bright young people. And so I had to pick of the litter in Ireland. And I had a chance to set standards and set criteria. I could set up my own pharmacology clinic and testing and all that stuff. which to do in the States take you, 25 years. Yeah.
So you had more of a blank page and also less regulation.
Exactly.
And a good base of talent to work with. Okay. And you set out to kind of prove.
I packed up a wife and 5 kids and
5 kids
and went to Ireland.
You were about 62 when you made this transition,
yeah.
right? So you had this long, illustrious career in pharmaceuticals, and now you're starting a whole new one in automotive racing.
Yeah.